Hey everybody, it's Christy Nazaro from Soul Positive. I am up this week for Life Documented, and I'm actually going to show you guys how to do an abstract tip-in. Very similar to this one. This is in a mini journal that I'm working in, and I'm actually going to show you how to make one of these. So let me show you what I did so far. I did a little bit of prep work beforehand. I did a background, and I will link in the comments the colors that I used. I just applied it with a makeup sponge. Throughout the page, I added some white. These are old. This is an old rubber stamp set from Paper Bag Studio, which was Robin Marie Smith used to have a company called Paper Bag Studios, and this was an old set of hers. I just stamped them on some old ledger paper, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put the dates in there for the week or words. I'm not really sure yet. Over here, this is a stamp set from Ray Missigman that had the days of the week. It also had numbers. So what I went ahead and did on that side of the page is going to be where I keep my notes for the week. And then on this side of the page, what I'm going to do is do that abstract tip-in and then journal underneath it. So then that way, what I can do is have something decorative on the left side of the page and actually keep some of my journaling private. So let's go ahead and get started. My page is about, I believe it's like 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, somewhere around there. So what I want to do is just make sure, I just want to mark it so I make sure that my tip-in is not too large and not too small. So let's go ahead and get the journal out of the way. So I marked it here to remind myself that I don't want to go beyond this line. This is a piece of, I believe it's Canson watercolor paper. It's nothing fancy. You can get it relatively cheap at Walmart or Michael's or Joann's. So I know that I'm not going to use this side of the paper. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. I like a tip-in because you can keep your journaling private, and it actually gives you something very pretty to look at without having the whole entire world look at what you're journaling about. So at this point, I just take my pencil and I start just doodling circles and swirls. Try to keep connected if you can, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to watercolor paint these and add some marks. Let's go like that. And then I'll come back around like this. Okay. So now that I have it drawn, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out. Now that you have it cut out, I'm just going to double check and make sure that it fits on my page. That is actually perfect. So what I do now is I like a straight line on the side. I'm going to go ahead and move this over like this. Just that amount. Let me grab my ruler. And I'm going to trim this part off. Okay, so I just draw a straight line. And then go ahead and cut this straight across. This way, when you go to tape it in, you have a straight line here, your edge is straight. So I like the way that that looks. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna decorate this, but keep in mind that then you can also add marks here. Once you have it, you can add journaling lines with just a ruler, or you can, you know, freehand some lines. Really, there's a lot of possibilities. It depends on what you want to write under there. So let's go ahead and decorate this. I'm just going to be using some watercolors. I use the Magello. This is the Mission Gold set. Okay. I'm just gonna give these a little splash. Wet my brush. And then what I do is I just start by coloring it in each section. So I'll start like this. Draw the line down. Get some water. Okay. And then maybe switch to another color and just drop it in. Just drop it in. And then I let it go. Like, so I'll let that dry and then maybe work over here so that it doesn't blend too much. So this gives this a lot of time to dry as you move around your piece so it doesn't blend totally, because I want it to be more of an abstract look. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of this, and then I'll pop back on to show you how to add your marks and put it in your book. Okay, now that it's dry, I wanted to show you that I decided to run it through my sewing machine. I followed the lines and did a bunch of stitches just to give it a little bit more dimension. Plus, I really love the way threads look when they're hanging down. I think that makes it look really cool in your journal or your planner. I went ahead and I pulled some mark making tools that I use. Really, there's some fluorescent pencils. These are from my friend Michelle, Raspberry Blue Sky. She sent these to me. They're fantastic. I have a couple of gel pens. I have the Uniball, the Signo Uniball, a white one, a black one, and then this is just a jelly roll, hot pink is the color. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just add some marks to some of the sections. Also, because in my art I really enjoy adding words and quotes and things of that nature, I will probably look for some type of found poetry, or I will type up some words on my typewriter to add to the front. Just maybe like a little saying or a couple of little words. But let's go ahead now. I'm going to show you just how I add a few marks to it to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, so I added all of the marks with the different gel pens, and then I ended up doing a little splatter paint in both black and white. And now that it's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the journal. So I'm just gonna line it up. I did trim, there were some strings over here, and I did trim those off just to make it easier for me to tape it in. So I just have some washi tape. Not sure even where this washi tape is from, but I thought that it matched really well. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull a piece off. Okay. And really all I do to keep my tip-ins is I just tape them along the side here, just like this. Right, so it's on the actual tip-in, but then half of it is on the page like this. And then I just fold it over. And I tape it right on. And then there you have it. So sometimes if it goes over this way, I just take a scissor and just give it a little trim so that it opens and closes a little easier. I mean, you can really measure it and tape it and make sure that it fits perfectly. I don't really do that. So if you have to trim, you have to trim. And now here you have it. It opens and it closes very well. And you have the couple little pieces. I like the way that looks. Now for me, this is a little bit plain all over. So I'll eventually maybe do a little stenciling down here. I wanted to add also, you can take a pencil and lightly trace around your abstract tip-in. That way, when you open it, you'll know where you can write your journaling so it doesn't go past the actual tip-in. I have done that in the past with other tip-ins. So it's really up to you how you want to do that, but sometimes I just lightly do a little bit of pencil, or even if you do it like here, just to let yourself know, I don't want to go out this way. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make an abstract tip-in. These are a lot of fun to make, and it gives you a chance to experiment with watercolor, to add marks, to really jazz up your planner or your journal, and to keep your journaling private.